Hello, I'm RAFFY Alunan. Today I'd like to talk to you about our security buildup. China's armed aggression in the West Philippine Sea is driving that buildup. But the main reason is that external defense has long been neglected. If it were not for China, our government would still be asleep. From the time the US bases left the Philippines in 1991, the government generally failed to shield the nation from external threats until now. In 1995, China grabbed mischief free from us, where a military garrison now stands. That moved the Ramos administration to privatize Fort Bonifacio to jumpstart the AFP's modernization. Unfortunately, succeeding administrations failed to follow through. When China grabbed Baho de Masinloc in April 2012, the current Aquino administration started to get serious about modernizing the Navy and the Air Force. China is also reclaiming several reefs in the West Philippine Sea, apart from building military garrisons in the others. Also, there is an equally pressing need to build up our white ship inventory, specifically our Coast Guard and BFAR vessels, to counter China's strategy. China's strategy is to send swarms of civilian vessels to serve as the vanguard of its occupation of the West Philippine Sea, namely its fishing fleets, supported by its maritime surveillance vessels, and Coast Guard ships operating out of Hainan. That strategy prevents us from invoking the Mutual Defense Treaty that does not cover this form of aggression. And so, as we build up our naval and air forces, we also need to build up our civil defense capability. It must be the product of a clearly defined vision, defense policy, continuing risk assessments, security strategy, and dynamic measures. As you know, the Philippines is an archipelago. We have a large maritime area to protect and defend, including the aquatic and mineral resources therein. In fact, if you look at it, we must strive to be a maritime power in our own right. Our defense policy should span territorial defense, resource protection, and internal security. Defense and internal security strategy should be founded on credible deterrence, to include security partner arrangements with the likes of the United States, Japan, Australia, countries of ASEAN, India. On the other hand, our internal security is undermined by corruption and inefficiency, which has deprived the uniformed services with much needed funds all these years. And China is taking full advantage of this. The telltale signs are all there. For example, illegal Chinese mining operations and land acquisition from north to south. Illegal drugs from Chinese triads. Illegal migrant workers proliferating in Binondo and other parts of the country. Big-time smuggling of basic commodities into the country and mineral resources out of the country. The control of or foothold in vital sectors, such as the national grid, fiber optics, telecommunications, shipping, media, and industrial equipment for power and water. All that would not be possible without the support and protection of crooked national and local officials and uniformed personnel. And so, building a credible deterrence must be done with deliberate speed and resolutely. At least 10 years are needed overall to buy, build, and deliver the equipment, build the infrastructure and support networks, and build capacities and proficiency. But I think the most important is our own backyard, where we are being undermined by default. We must immediately neutralize the corrupt collaborators in all of our vital institutions, firm up law enforcement, and ensure that the criminal justice system works for all of us for the national interest. You'll agree with me that our soldiers are brave and battle-tested, so let's give them all the means to properly defend the country against all threats, foreign and domestic. Above all, our people, we the people, must be shielded from internal threats, and that requires good government, reliable intelligence, and outstanding counterintelligence. That time is now, and we shouldn't stop until we accomplish the mission. In my next op-ed, I will be discussing probable funding sources for our defense buildup. This is RAFFY ALUNAN. Be well and stay well.